What are some of those things that you changed? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Side Hustle. I'm your host, Bryan Fonseca, and on this episode, we're going to sit down with Jillian DeCourcy, who balances being an MMA fighter and a mental health counselor. And we're going to talk to her about all that on this episode of Side Hustle. All right, now we're going to try this out. How was that? Not bad. A friend of yours came back recently, Roman Reigns. I'm wondering your thoughts on him just making what I felt like was a quick return, given the magnitude of his announcement.
Sure. Well, and he'll tell you he credits that to early detection.
What do you think that says about you? Because you're 5-0 with 3 knockouts, yet you're bringing people over. You know, whether it's Latin support, just local support, but you're managing to get these people to your fights. What do you feel like that says about you as a young fighter?
Of course, you know, we're going to have to bring a big Latin crowd. I always bring a big crowd.
Welcome to Side Hustle. I'm your host, Bryan Fonseca, and on this episode, we're going to sit down with Rob Lopez, who is now a podcast producer full-time at The Athletic, but he's had a lot of odd jobs to get to that point. How encouraging is it for you that,
it's not
you know, when
so
you
much
do eventually, like, decide to retire, do whatever you got to do, you're leaving it, at least for women, in a better place than when you came in, where it was, you know, you guys had to break down a lot of barriers and things like that. So how good is it for the next generation of women?
Man, that's honestly all I want to do at this point is to make it easier for the next group.
We've seen sort of a boom in that in terms of there's more discussion, there are more people talking openly about going to therapy and things like that. Some of it's real,
right.
Some of it's not. But could you sort of break down, like, what's that sort of done for your industry and the changes that you've seen sort of firsthand with that?
More people that normally wouldn't seek out therapy are a little bit more open to it.
We're here at the 2018 Puerto Rican Day Parade, the first Puerto Rican Day Parade since Hurricane Maria took 4,645 lives out in Puerto Rico, where people lost power, people lost food, and people evidently lost their lives. Now, we are here celebrating Puerto Rican culture in 2018, and one of the things that celebrates Puerto Rican culture is the sport of boxing. So what's it like working as corner? You mentioned you're going to be working as corner on that day. So what's kind of the relationship in that regard?
You guys see all the glitz and glam, right? But there's a lot of pain and suffering behind. I'm sorry. Like, you see them when they're bruised up. People don't see them the next day. You know, when they got the black eyes and the bloody noses. So my main concern is safety.
Midtown Manhattan. What's going on, everybody? This is Bryan Fonseca. You are back watching The Side Hustle, and on this episode, I'm going to sit down with Gerard Hector. All right, that's all for this week of Side Hustle. We really hope you enjoyed that conversation with Jillian DeCourcy. We'll be back with more Side Hustle content very soon. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Side Hustle, and on this episode, I get to sit down with Nick Pollock. He is the CEO and founder of Pitcher List, not Pitchers List, but Pitcher List, a very successful fantasy baseball website that started in 2014. We're going to talk about its growth, how it's developed since then, and its entrepreneurial success on this episode of Side Hustle. Fans, fighters, and organizers felt like the event was a success, and they hope that it's something that will continue here at the King's Theater, honoring Puerto Rican heritage and boxing culture. But on this episode, it's not going to be a podcast. We're going to sit down and talk about a lot of things that we haven't discussed on a podcast, like how he's impacted the lives and careers of many other people, how fatherhood has impacted his career and life, and some more things on this episode. Side Hustle. No one's really going to truly understand just the impact that has on you personally and professionally.
Yeah.
You know, just as an adult. So how does that sort of affect you as your, you know, you have the work ethic that you have, but now you have to sort of be smarter about your time, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. We really hope you enjoyed that conversation with Jamal Murphy. We'll be back with more Side Hustle content very soon. I'm going to get an actual ball and practice my shooting. So, peace.